Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking time to tune in to this wonderful video that I'm trying to interact with you and communicate with you on an important topic. Today, I want to talk about exam preparation. Now, when we talk about exam preparation, what are we talking about? We know very well that people from different levels of education in different institutions are writing their exams to progress to another level or another grade. So therefore, I have with me some of the tips that can help you better or get ready or make sure that you have an adequate preparation towards your exam. The first thing that you have to do is to organize your study space. Now, under organizing the study space, some of the things that you have to take into consideration are as follows. Number one, you have to make a timetable so that you know when and what time to study this particular subject, and also so that you are guided what subject you are supposed to study and how long it's supposed to take you to study that particular subject. So now, when you take, for instance, you make your own timetable, the first thing that you are supposed to do under the timetable is to make sure that you have respect. You need to develop self-discipline towards what you have written. No one should make a timetable for you. You have to schedule it yourself so that you will respect it very well. If somebody writes a timetable, makes the timetable for you, it is going to be difficult to respect it and also show it self-discipline, because you might find that the reason why, in fact, we come up with a timetable, study timetable, is because we know very well that there are certain subjects that we like most, or which are considered to be the favorite or the best subjects to us, and there are those that we consider to be difficult subjects. So it is when we make the timetable, it's going to be guiding us. At what time am I supposed to study this subject? At what time am I? How long will it take me to study this subject? And this helps us not to study or to avoid or prevent us from studying the same subject year in, year out, day in, day out, hour in, hour out. We are studying the same subject and you are thinking we are going to make it in an exam. That doesn't work like that. So we have to make the timetable, and the timetable we make, we have to respect it. We have to show self-discipline towards it. The second thing that you are supposed to do under organizing your study space is to know. Take, for instance, I'm studying mathematics. What are some of the things or requirements that I'm supposed to have or to carry with me in my study room? Remember, when you are studying, I've seen many people studying in their rooms, in their bedrooms, while seated on their bed. That is not the way it's supposed to be. That space is created, the bedroom is created for resting. So when you are there, the mind is always conditioned to say, while you are there, you are only going to be there to sleep or to rest. So as you study there, you may not even take note of what will happen to you. You will just find yourself studying. So do not study where you are very, very much comfortable, where your body is very comfortable. In terms of the bed, you're not supposed to study from there. The second thing that you have to know is that you need to make sure that your study space is enough, where you are able to display the notes that you are studying, or the books, the book that you are using, and also the instrument. If you are, for instance, you are studying mathematics, the instruments that you are going to be using at that particular time, they should have space, not whereby you are studying mathematics, you go in a study room or you sit somewhere where you think you are comfortable, and then from without you start thinking of, I go and you should start moving up and down to go and look for a pencil, look for a pen. That time you have put in a timetable is going to be consumed and misused. So in order to avoid that, we have to make sure that we respect the time and also the timetable that we have made. Then the other thing is that there are some of the friends that are able to study where there is noise, and those that are able to study where there is no noise. So to those who are supposed to, or who are able to understand or to study well where there is noise, may they continue doing that, because that is the best method that works well to them when they are studying. So we shouldn't be taken by the music that is playing and then we also copy and we start using that method. It will not work well to us, because for us, because we are made different, and the way this music is background music is going to do is just going to distract us. We are not going to concentrate as we study. So it's better that we find also the best way that suits and that can help us understand the piece of work that we are supposed to study. So if you are able to study where there is silence, make sure that you study where there is silence, so that it helps you concentrate. If you can't study where there is silence or where there is no music, please do not make a mistake to play music when you are studying. The other thing is that you need also to make sure that you find out, are the lightings in your room all right, or are they enough for you to be able to see if you are studying at night, for instance. And also ventilation itself. It's very, very important that in the room that you are studying in, there should be ventilation. Well ventilated room also makes your body to cool down, and it makes you not to panic in any way. The other point is that you also need to use flow charts and also diagrams. When you use flow charts and diagrams when you are studying, that helps your memory, because that works with the visual. What you see, you know very well that what you see, you can't forget it. So it works well when you are using visual and also the diagram. For example, if you are studying on the human body and then or the skeleton, and then you display the skeleton or any organ of the body, and then you start labeling it. And when you label one part, for instance, the brain, you take, for instance, you draw the brain, and also you draw the structures, you label the structures, and after that you are able to ask questions on the same, like functions of each part of those and how the brain works. You are not going to forget, because that is visual, and also it goes to your brain for long-term memory. That is one thing that you are supposed to do. The other thing that you are supposed to also to do is that will help you very well, is to make sure that you go through attempt to answer past questions or question papers, questions from the past exams. Once you do that, you will be familiarizing yourself to know the type of questions or the pattern in which questions are able to be asked, and also you'll be able to know how to answer those questions. But if you limit yourself to on the book without knowing the type of questions that come from a certain topic, you are going to think, or you are going to be feeling comfortable when you are really not comfortable to study. So I challenge you that you find some question papers and then go through those question papers. Don't just sit there and then thinking that you are comfortable with whatever you have gathered in your studies. So for you to weigh how much you have studied, make sure that you look for past papers and study those, or attempt to answer those questions. If you can fail to answer those questions, it means that you have not studied enough. Go back to your study book and then your notebook, and then answer those questions. If you are able to answer them, then well and fine. That means that even in exams, if the question is repeated the same time, sometimes the question can be repeated, the same pattern, the way it was asked, that's the same way you can come, and the same answers. So if you have studied that is going to give you an advantage to go further. Now, the other thing is that having studied and understood the piece of work that you have studied on a certain topic, what do you do next? Explain to your friends certain answers. Try to provide solutions to certain questions in the presence of your friends. And how do you do this? You involve group work. Bring people together, and you should be able to explain to them. And by explaining to them, you'll be gaining more knowledge about certain topics, and also you get to understand more content. You have more content by providing or explaining to your colleagues. Don't feel shy. If you make a mistake while explaining to your friends, please don't feel shy. Or what you need to do? It means that it is reminding you to go back to your notebook and then do a good job. It means that you didn't just do a good job. And who doesn't make mistakes? We are bound to make mistakes. So you have to go back to your book, to your notebook, and then make sure that you study and get to understand the content. Now, apart from this, you need also to know that the brain, just like a vehicle, needs food to eat. So what type of food should you give to your brain so that the brain is stable, is well balanced, and is healthy? So for the brain to be healthy, you have to give it fish, at least a meal with fish. Fish is still some of the things scientifically proven to say, once you give the brain the fish, it's going to be to improve the memory, and also it's going to give it energy and nourish it. Then the other thing is nuts, seeds, and seeds. When you talk about seeds, you need to know that groundnuts, you can eat groundnuts, you can eat soya beans, beans itself, and other seeds that may be available at your disposal. The other thing is that you can also buy yogurt from the shops, and also blueberries. Those are some of the foods that can help boost your brains, and also help your brain to concentrate. Because if your brain is hungry, there is no enough energy. It means that you are not going to be concentrating. It means that you are going to be tired at any time, and then you lose your track in your study. So each time you are going for your studies and before the exams, you need to have a good meal that gives your brain energy, so that when you are there in an exam, the brain is also going to be using the energy to retrieve the information and help you to answer the questions that are before you in an exam. Then another thing, lastly, only the food that you have to give to your brain is the vitamin D. Vitamin D is the other name is considered to be the sunshine vitamin. So you have to make sure that you eat food rich in vitamin D. Once you eat the food that are rich in vitamin D, it means that you are helping the brain to be healthy, and also to help you concentrate when you are studying, and also in an exam when you are writing the exams. That will help you retrieve the information without problems. Then you have also to plan your exam day. What I mean is, the day before the exams, what are some of the things that you are supposed to do the day before the exams? The day before exams is a day of preparation, finalizing preparations, or your preparations towards the exams. What are you supposed to do during that time? The first thing that you have to do is to prepare. Do you have a pen? Do you have enough pens? Do you have pencils? Do you have rulers? Do you have everything that you are supposed to use in an exam? If you don't have, it's a time that you are supposed to go out there and start looking for those things. It doesn't just look good. You are in an exam and then you are asking for your neighbors, you're asking help from your neighbors. No, I don't have a pen. Sometimes you you even need to plan your time. When are you supposed to start off from your home, going to the exam, to the school or institution where you are going to do your exams? If you do not have that, it happens that you stay very far away from the institution or the center where the exams are taking place. You need to make sure that you go earlier than the starting time. You can't go in an exam room running, sweating and panting. Oh, sorry to use that word. Running and also sweating. Okay, so it is going to give pressure to your brain to start recalling and also lose track. Even the answers that you have are going to be taken away from you. Then lastly, and not the least, make sure that you don't start the very day of the exam and then you come with a lot of books. For example, books of these volumes, different types of books. You start perusing in each book. You start looking at the book the day before the exams, or during the same exam, maybe the break time, or maybe 10 minutes before the exam, you start looking at the books. Do you know what will happen? The brain is going to be forced to accommodate the information you are going to feed it right there, but you will fail to recall anything that you are going to study. But I know some of you, you may have a different way on which you accommodate these things, but I understand very well that you can't fatten the calf at the day of slaughtering. That's what I do. I know very well. I know to apply to the exams. So you have to make sure that you plan well to your exams. And remember, if you study in manageable units every day before the exams, 3 years before the exams, when the exam comes, it becomes very easy to recall the information and also to understand. You can't, for example, the whole of this, the volume of this, the information in these books, and then you say you are going to retrieve this information or recall whatever you're going to study within a day. That is totally wrong, and also it cannot work out. So all what I'm encouraging you is to make sure that when you learn a certain piece of work, try the same day, go through that piece of work so that you start preparing. That is how you prepare. You don't prepare for the exams the very day or week before, because you have a lot of things to do. And remember, when you are studying, there are a lot of, maybe you are a child at home and then people are sending you out in and out, and you can't say no. You have to do that, because you may have been given a lot of time, maybe 3 years, you're just preparing for exams, and then you can't just say, no, I'm concentrating for my exams the very day or the day before the exams. So that is one thing that you should do. Then the other thing, which is the last thing, please drink a lot of water, plenty of water, so that the metabolism in your body takes place efficiently. Thank you very much for having time to watch this video, and make sure that you share it to your colleagues and also your friends who may not have time, or who may not have access to it at this moment you are watching it. So share it so that it reaches your friends, and your friends should be encouraged that they should make sure that they prepare for the exams in advance before that time comes. Thank you very much. Bye bye.